here. So thank you for joining us for the June 2024 Planning Commission meeting. We'll start with an opening prayer led by Commissioner Prater, and we'll follow that with the Pledge of Allegiance.
You all rise and please join me. Gracious Heavenly Father, today we gather as citizens to discuss the future of our fine city. We ask that through civil discussion, you help us to achieve decisions providing for the safety and well-being of our community. Guide us through the rough spots, keeping in mind what you would desire. And when we conclude today, help us to look back and know we brought glory to you. Amen.
Amen. You would join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Laura, can we get a roll call for the June Planning Commission meeting, please?
Byrd.
Here.
Lowe.
Here.
Prater.
Here.
Knack.
Here.
Young. O'Gwen.
Here.
All right. Next item will be board commission members. You should have a copy of the last month's meeting minutes. If you've had a chance to look through those, I'd entertain a motion to approve those.
Motion to approve.
If they need adjustment.
Motion to approve.
I just say that.
He's a second.
Second.
Okay, so I had a motion from Commissioner Prater and a second from Commissioner O'Gwen. Roll call, please.
Byrd.
Yes.
Lowe.
Yes.
Knack.
Yes.
Prater.
Yes.
O'Gwen.
Yes.
All right. At this time, we're going to jump over into the June Board of Adjustment meeting, and I'll call that meeting to order right now. We do a roll call for that, please.
Byrd.
Here.
Lowe.
Here.
Prater.
Here.
Knack.
Here.
Young. O'Gwen.
Here.
Similarly, we have the previous minutes from February of 2024 for your review, and need a motion to approve those.
Motion to approve.
Second.
A motion and a second. Roll call.
Lowe.
Yes.
Prater.
Yes.
Byrd.
Yes.
O'Gwen.
Yes.
Knack.
Yes. All right. We have a first item on the Board of Adjustment agenda. Laura, can you give us a staff report on that, please?
323 East Main Street. Variance request to allow a monument sign to be within 3 feet of the right-of-way. Chris Dayton. Okay, again, this property is located at 323 East Main Street. It is currently owned by Chris and Sarah Staten. It is currently zoned O1 with an occupancy of an office. They are asking for a variance to allow a sign within 3 feet of the right-of-way. It is located at the corner of East Main Street and South Jackson. It was at an existing house that they renovated into an office building. They currently have a sign located in the flower bed, but after I met with the applicant, they stated that their sign is hard to see from any of the roadsides for any clients that come in, so they've come in to ask for a variance to have a monument sign out by the road that will be within 3 feet of the right-of-way. They are asking for it to be located behind the sidewalk that's currently existing there. He is here in the audience if you have any questions for him, or if you have any questions for me.
Mr. Staten, would you like to come up and address the commission?
To the mic, I'm assuming.
Yes, if you just state your name and
Chris Staten, So quickly, that picture that's on the board it needs to go back behind that sidewalk. It isn't, that was just the signage company put it in the wrong location. Simply put, most of my clients come up and down East Main Street, and the signage is right up against the house, so when they're looking at it, they can't find it. They can find it after calling us. A lot of new clients have issues seeing it, and there's also not in that picture a big H&R Block sign that is, and the big oak tree that's there, that if we moved it further closer to the house, it just gets blocked again. So it just needs to be, I mean, if possible, it needs to be right there, kind of where that T is in the sidewalk. And we'll remove the other sign. We won't need both of them.
But you're wanting to put it between the sidewalk and the building? Is that
Yes,
correct?
sir. Yeah. So right there, essentially where that walkway goes to my front door, just to the left of that, or well, if I'm looking at the building, to the left of it, just in that T. Because there's also that angle variance or whatever it is that Laura was telling me, so we can't really put it on the side, and there's also a fire hydrant there.
And the sidewalk is some distance off the street.
Couldn't hear you.
The sidewalk is some distance off the street already, right?
Yeah, there's a big ditch right there. It shouldn't be in any, I mean, shouldn't be in any kind of way of anything. And the 3 foot's because the variance is 15 foot's my front door. So there's not really a lot of options there.
That sidewalk is within the right-of-way, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So your property is 15 foot from the building to the sidewalk?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Like just the variance spot, which was a confusing thing for me to understand, but it's essentially from the sidewalk to the front porch almost is 15 feet.
Commissioners have any more questions for Mr. Staton? Any more discussion? That looks like a reasonable request, in my opinion, but we'll need a motion to address the item.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
So I have a motion to approve from Commissioner Prater and a second from Commissioner Byrd. Roll call, please.
O'Gwen,
Yes.
Prater,
Yes.
Knack,
Yes.
Byrd.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes.
Thank you.
With that, we'll adjourn the Board of Adjustment meeting and move back into our Planning Commission meeting. We have several items on the agenda tonight. Laura, if you would address the first item.
Preliminary plat, Eagle Street subdivision, PMI Company. Okay, this is Eagle Street subdivision, which is located at 801 and 904 Eagle Street Drive. It is at the very end of Eagle Street. You may remember this property because it has been before us a few times for a rezone, as well as, I think it's been before us a couple times for a rezone. So now the property is currently zoned R4M, and he was granted to be able to do single-family detached homes. He's proposing a 20-lot subdivision to build these homes on. There is some floodway that is on this property or floodplain that they will be addressing with those homes that will be built on those lots. There are some outstanding items within the staff report that still need to be addressed, but there are items that can be addressed with staff and the engineer that submitted the plans. There was a few additional comments after the revisions were submitted that have been sent. The staff report was sent to the engineer, and then we can address those if you have any questions on them. And other than that, there were several items that have been addressed by the applicant as well. So if you have any questions for me, I can answer them. If not, the applicant and his engineer are here if you have any questions for them.
If the applicant's here and would like to address the commission, please come forward. Please state your name into the microphone so everybody knows who we're talking to. Thanks.
Yes, I'm Sam Emmerling.
I'm Cole Glover. I'm the engineer.
All right. Would you like to position anything to the commission on this item?
I'm ready to move forward. This has been a 3-year process. I've abided by everything y'all have asked. I want to be a good tenant. We've been before this several times. I'm ready to move forward and help pay taxes here into the city of Cabot with 20 houses.
So these are single-family lots.
Yes, sir. All single-family homes. That is correct.
Anything further you want?
I'm ready for any question you might have. Whatever y'all have asked, we've been willing to get whatever y'all wanted accomplished. So we're here to answer any question you might have, and we're ready to move forward with the project.
Thank you. Commissioners, any questions or comments for the applicant?
What was the status of the flood areas? What do we know?
The status of it?
Yeah, you mentioned something about it.
There is a drainage that does go straight through this property that they have addressed with a bigger box culvert as well as detention. There are about 4 to 6 lots that are located in the floodplain that they will have to build up 2 feet above the base flood elevation.
Okay.
Any other comments from the commission? Well, this is not a public hearing for this item, so. Any other comments or?
The lots that are in the flood area, is that the lots that are in the cul-de-sac?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am, they are. Most of them are, yes.
You can see the screen, there's a floodplain shown northeast corner of that property. And Laura, how many outstanding items are there? Sir?
There's several of them. There were some new outstanding items or new additional comments after the revisions came in. There were a couple from the water department, and then the engineering department had several comments related to the detention area and needing some flow lines on the box culvert. But then there's just some minor things that are still in the original comments that were not fully addressed, but I can address with the engineer with a letter.
All right. Commission, if there's any other comments, we can discuss them. If not, we would need a motion to address the item.
Motion to approve with the contingent items answered there.
Second.
So we have a motion to approve this item with the contingencies and staff comments, and a second. Roll call, please.
Prater,
Yes.
O'Gwen,
Yes.
Knack,
Yes.
Byrd.
Yes.
So this item passes
I sure do, thank you.
Next item on the agenda, please, Laura.
Final plat, lots 73R and 74R, Lakewood subdivision, Phase 2A, Lemons Engineering. Okay, this is lot 73R and 74R, Lakewood subdivision. The property owner is James and Nancy Green. Currently, it's zoned residential R1. They are vacant lots right now, so they are just doing a lot line adjustment on these 2 lots. If you remember these lots, they came before you a couple of months back with some questions on some annexation of the property. They have actually removed that property, or the property that they were in the rear of these lots, and brought them actually to the point of where the city limits ends. So they are just doing a lot line adjustment on this, just as a simple replat of these two lots. All the comments have been addressed in the staff report. If you have any questions for me, I can answer them. Mr. Lemons is already at the podium if you have any questions for him.
In fact, Mr. Chairman, there's slight change to what you've looked at. And with your permission, I'd like to show it to you.
Please do.
Okay. Yeah, after we had gone through staff report and addressed those comments, Mr. Green brought something to our attention that he wanted to discuss with you tonight. So, this is it. The little one is what you have before you. We made the change, we showed it with a red line. The big one is actually what we would consider this evening. And it's a small change, but you see the little red line that's on the small sheet. We need to carve that little bit off of lot number 74R. It does not belong to 74R right now. It would have if you approved the drawing that you have before you tonight, but Mr. Green brought this to our attention that this needed to be included, and packet's already gone out when this happened, so we thought, well, we'll bring it to you tonight and get your thoughts on it. I don't believe this would have any bearing on any of the comments by staff.
Well, my not so straight line there on the drawing on the screen there is trying to show what the change is. So it's an adjustment to that angle.
That's adjustment to the angle, yes.
So this change would be a reduction in the lot size and
Right.
increase in that easement
Exactly.
and access area.
Yes, sir.
Commissioners have any comments or questions about what's presented in front of us?
Just to confirm, it is all in the city limits now, because I think last time it
Yes.
was in the
Yes,
county.
everything is in the city limits, yes. The east line or the right-hand line, that is the city limits. So everything to the right of our right-hand line is in the county. But this is, in fact, in the city.
Commissioners have any more comments or questions on this item? Is there a motion to address it?
Appreciate it. Thanks.
Motion to approve.
Second.
So we have a motion to approve these plats as shown in the revised submittal, and Laura will handle that with staff comments. And I have a second. So roll call, please.
Knack,
Yes.
O'Gwen,
Yes.
Byrd,
Yes.
Prater.
Yes.
That item passes 4-0. To our next item, please.
Final plat, Wind Ridge Estates, Phase 1, Bond Consulting Engineers. Okay, this is a final plat for Phase 1 of Wind Ridge Estates, which is located on Pigthorn Road. The subject property is about 525 feet west of the intersection of Highway 89 and Pigthorn. Right now, they have installed the streets, the drainage, all the infrastructure, water, sewer, for these lots that they are proposing. There are a couple outstanding items in the staff report. As of when the staff report was created, the sewer facilities had not been completed and tested, nor were the developer fees for the sewer pump station paid yet. The developer's here tonight he can address those if those have been taken care of. But other than that, the items have been addressed in the staff report, and the first phase of this development is ready to go.
Is the applicant with us? Like to address the commission?
Yeah, so the only thing we're waiting on right now is to complete the sewer lift station. I'm sorry, Jamie Lefevre.
Jamie.
To complete the sewer lift station, which, of course, to complete that, we're waiting on a couple of things. Gas Company 1 to run their gas line, which they're waiting on RDOT to give them their permit. And then we've got one large 4-inch meter that won't be here until mid-July. But besides that, and then, of course, once all that's done, Cabot Waterworks has to sign off on it. And so what I talked to Laura about when we submitted this, because we knew that probably wouldn't be done by the time we got to this meeting, was asking for approval of this contingent upon Cabot Waterworks signing off on the lift station. Besides that, Aaron can probably answer anything else that we have as far as all the staff comments and stuff.
Thank you, Jamie. Any comments or questions from the commission on this item? All right. No comments?
Motion to approve with those, just taking into consideration a couple outstanding items.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second to approve this item with the contingencies of outstanding water and sewer comments that will handle by staff. Roll call, please.
Prater,
Yes.
O'Gwen,
Yes.
Knack,
Yes.
Byrd.
Yes.
Item is approved 4-0. All right, next item, please.
Final plat, Lot 1, Venture Edition, Lemons Engineering Consultants. All right, this is a final plat of an existing building site that is located at 181 Arena Road. The existing commercial building is zoned C2. The property is just over an acre in size, and they are just trying to plat this property because there is a site plan that is following this as well, that they would need to have the property platted in order to do their expansion of their building that they are proposing on the site plan. All the comments in the staff report, minus one outstanding item, have been addressed with this item. Other than that, items have been addressed. Again, Mr. Lemon's at the podium if you have any questions for him or if you have any questions for me.
Mr. Lemons, anything for the
Have
commission?
nothing to add unless you have a question.
Commissioners, any comments or questions on this item? The one outstanding item looks to be recording information on the plat, which can be handled after the fact.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Motion to approve pending the recording of the information.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve. Roll call, please.
O'Gwen,
Yes.
Prater,
Yes.
Knack,
Yes?
Byrd,
Yes.
That item is approved 4-0. And the next item.
Site Plan Lot 1, Venture Edition, Lemons Engineering. Okay, so this is the site plan for the same piece of property that you just approved a final plat on. They are proposing to construct about a 1,500 square foot addition to the existing 2,400 square foot building. There are some outstanding items in the staff report that have not been completely addressed yet, as well as they are wanting to keep the existing gravel driveway in the back behind the fence. The one outstanding item we could not find in the revisions were some landscaping on the site or on the site plan, as well as some lighting that needs to be added. But other than that, there's just some minor outstanding items in the staff report that can be addressed with the applicant as well.
I concur. We can handle this. Do the best we can handle it. And just so you'll know, on the comments, there are actually 4 comments that are not addressed. One of those is there is a pretty good sized ditch that runs along Arena Road, and where the sidewalk would normally go would be on the back slope of that ditch. So we're not trying to waive the sidewalk, of course, but we would like the flexibility to curve the sidewalk just a little bit where it wouldn't be running parallel to the street, because we're looking at quite a bit of dirt work to do there, and there's a culvert that goes underneath Arena Road just on our north property line. It becomes somewhat problematic if we start filling that in. So we'd like the flexibility to do that. On the other items, the landscape, I'll get with Laura about that. I think it's on there, but I'll get with her to discuss that. And then lighting on they wanted to light at each driveway. These driveways are only about 150 feet apart, so instead of having 2 lights that are 150 feet apart, we thought we would put 1 light there in the green area between the 2 driveways. And then last but not least is just a note saying no changes to the plat are permitted without approval of Cabot Planning Commission. So really, the only issues we really have is the sidewalk running parallel to the street. We would like to put a little bit of an angle on it to get up out of the ditch. And then the light pole and the landscaping.
So with the adjustment of the sidewalk, would you be granting additional right-of-way or permanent easement or something to?
It'll be easement.
Okay.
But I mean, it will be within the blanket 15-foot easement that we always grant. It will be within that as it is right now.
Where's your parking?
The parking is right in front of the building. It really doesn't show up good on that drawing. There's another drawing that it shows up, but keep in mind that this is a drilling well drilling company. You know, they do service work on drilling rigs, and also they rent those rigs out. So therefore, there's not just a whole bunch of pedestrian traffic. It's definitely a specialty item. But I believe we have like 5 or 6 parking spots. And then employee parking is there behind the fence. So I don't think you'll ever see that parking lot full.
And you do have an ADA parking?
Yes, we do have an ADA parking. Yes, sir.
I mean, I'm looking at like six slots and a handicap slot. That's enough for this company?
Oh, yes, yes.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not sure we would even need any pedestrian parking. There are, public parking, but we're putting it in there.
Just employees.
Tell me any other comments to the commission?
That's all I got.
Commissioners, any questions or comments? Anything further?
Appreciate it.
Motion to approve.
Second.
So I have a motion to approve and a second.
Knack,
Do we have to have it with the contingencies, with outstanding items and stuff, or are we approving it as is?
we need to know what his motion is.
Do what?
We need to know what Mr. O'Gwen's motion is.
Mr. O'Gwen, would your motion include the contingencies on this item?
Yes, motion to approve with the contingencies on this item.
Thank you, sir.
Knack,
Yes.
O'Gwen,
Yes.
Byrd,
Yes.
Prater.
Yes.
Okay, that item passes 4-0. Next item, please.
Final plat, Lot 1, AG Commercial Estates, Bond Consulting Engineers. Okay, this is a final plat for Lot 1, AG Commercial Estates. It is located at 1901 South Pine Street. It currently has an existing residential dwelling on it and is currently zoned C2. They are proposing to remodel this existing residential dwelling into a restaurant, as you will see on the next item for a site plan. The property is about 1.7 acres in size, and again, it's located on South Pine Street, just north of the intersection of South Pine and Panther Trail. Again, this is just a final plat that is being submitted so that they can develop a site plan on the next item. All the items in the staff report have been addressed except for signing of the certifications if this is approved. The applicant is here if you have any questions or comments for him.
Applicant, if you'd like to introduce yourself and if you'd like to address the commission.
Austin Godwin. I don't have any other questions or in case you have anything for me.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Aaron?
I'm here if you all have any questions.
Thank you, sir. Commissioners, any comments or questions for the applicant? Any questions on the item? There seems to be a couple of outstanding items to be addressed here. No?
Just certification.
Just certification. Okay. Good deal.
Motion to approve with the contingencies.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to address the item. Roll call, please.
Prater,
Yes.
O'Gwen,
Yes.
Knack,
Yes.
Byrd.
Yes.
That item is approved 4-0. Next item, please.
Site plan, Lot 1, AG Commercial Estates, Bond Consulting Engineers. Okay, this is the same piece of property that you just approved a final plat on, except for this is a site plan. They are proposing to develop, to renovate the existing dwelling for a restaurant. The proposed development is for about a 2,700 square foot addition to the site with parking, landscaping, curb and gutter, sidewalks extension along South Pine Street. As you can see in the staff report, they are going to very much change the look of this house and make it more of a commercial look for the restaurant. There are only a couple outstanding items in the staff report. One of them was to provide a lighting and photometric plan. I have actually already received that from the engineer. And then other than that are just some certifications and a grading permit before they can pull a building permit on this site. Other than that, all the items have been addressed.
Thank you, Laura. Applicant, would you like to address the commission?
No, just thank you all for your time and appreciate it.
Once again, I'm here to answer any questions.
Commissioners, any comments or questions on the site plan?
I just have one question. On the south elevation, there's a picture of a dog on mine. I was just wondering, are you going to actually put that on the building?
Yeah, that's Reed.
Okay.
That's Reed's Barbecue. It's like a Central Texas offset smoker, post oak barbecue restaurant. Very similar to Wright's Barbecue in Little Rock. But our mascot is a Labrador. So it will be a mural on the side of the building, painted, hand painted.
It's cool.
You do have plenty of parking for this one
Yes.
with employees.
Yes, it does meet the parking regulations, yes.
All right, Commissioners, any other comments on the site plan?
There were a few additional comments after the revisions were submitted, but they can be handled with the applicant.
No more comments. Entertain a motion to address this item with the contingencies and the staff comments.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to address this item with the staff comments. Roll call, please.
O'Gwen,
Yes.
Prater,
Yes.
Knack,
Yes.
Byrd,
Yes.
That site plan is approved 4-0. Next item, please.
Site Plan Cabot Public Schools Administration Edition, Mitten Engineering. Okay, this is a site plan approval for an addition to the Cabot Public Schools Administration building that is located literally outside the front door of this building, located at 602 North Lincoln Street. It is an existing building that they are just adding an addition of about 3,700 square foot to the north side of the building. They have some minor outstanding items in the staff report, which one of them is just adding a traffic marking to make it a two-way maneuverability area on the one side of the building that they are proposing. And then other than that is just a grading permit and certifications if this is approved. And then they do have to submit an ADH letter to the water department prior to a building permit being issued. Other than that, all the items in the staff report have been addressed. Mr. Mitten's at the microphone already if you have any questions for him.
Sure, I do have a question for you, Laura. You said two-way, we can't make that one-way right on the north?
You can make that. I thought in your comments that you said it was going to be, we didn't know if it was going to be two-way or one-way. It can be. If you want it to be one-way, we'll just need to paint arrows to show that.
One-way, yeah, we'll have a one-way arrow there. That island, that's an existing island, we can't really move that. It's got the lift station in it, so, but we still have 12 feet.
Yeah, we'll just need to show directional arrows on that so that we can.
Mr. Minton, any other comments or things you'd like the commission to consider?
No, it's just a fairly small addition. It's going to look just like the existing building on the north side. It's going to have, offices and conference room, I think file storage, stuff like that.
All right. Commissioners, any comments or questions on this item?
I'll ask on behalf of the kids, is it going to be done before the school year starts?
No. No, and this, I think, may not be something that gets started until next year. We're just getting it through all the approvals so they can start whenever they're ready.
All right. No more questions or comments? Entertain a motion to address the item.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve the item. Roll call, please.
Is that motion with the contingencies?
With the contingency.
Motion with contingencies.
Knack,
Yes.
O'Gwen,
Yes.
Byrd,
Yes.
Prater.
Yes.
That item is approved 4-0.
Thank you.
And we'll move on to our next item, please.
Site Plan Lot 8, Templeton Plaza, Phase 1, Lemons Engineering Consultants. Okay, this is a site plan approval for Lot 8 Templeton Plaza Phase 1. It's located at 3 Templeton Drive. It currently holds Dr. Brent Larson's office right now. They are looking to expand the parking lot to the north of the building. They are wanting to add 6 additional parking spaces on this property. There are in the staff report, they are asking for several waivers due to where this property is located. They are asking for a waiver of the parking lot expansion so that they can have off-street parking to be able to back onto Templeton Drive. And then they are also asking for a waiver to allow for the commercial driveway cut to exceed the 40 feet width maximum allowed. And then there was one more waiver. Mr. Lemons, you may have to refresh my memory on what that other item may be for.
I believe it might have been on detention.
Yes, he's asking for a waiver on the detention with the site being so small that he stated that they couldn't supply detention on this site. So there also is an outstanding comment on a type of pipe that is being installed that the city does not allow, that will have to be changed from CMP that we don't allow to either RCP or HDPE.
Right.
So other than that, Mr. Lemons can address the waiver items that he is asking for, and there are only 2 additional comments after the revisions were submitted. So if you have any questions for me, I can address them, but I'm sure you have some questions for Mr. Lemons.
Applicant here would like to address this. So there's quite a few red items on this one.
There's a few red items, yes, sir. I'm going to not go in any certain order. One of those red items is discussion on the type of culvert that we would put underneath the proposed parking area. We requested that we use CMP only because the existing culvert on the drive that is existing is CMP. However, we agree with the engineer, we can put a junction box in there and we can use, a more acceptable material. So that's item number 13. So that narrows our red-lined items down to 3. I guess we need to start at the top because that's kind of the driving force. And this is Dr. Larson. If there's any questions you have that I can answer, I'm sure he'll be glad to jump in. If you've driven out to this site, you will see that there's just not a lot of room left. We have the building that is in somewhat of the northwest corner, parking out front, and Mr. Larson is needing to add some parking spaces. This is the best that we could come up with the land that he's got left. And I understand that we need to ask for a waiver to allow cars to back onto Templeton. I would like to point out to you that if you've gone out and looked at Templeton Drive, it's not much. It's an asphalt road that's got severe alligator cracking on north of this site. The only people that use Templeton Drive at the present time are trucks unloading stuff to Tractor Supply. So basically, there is no traffic on Templeton. So, and it is a cul-de-sac. It's only about 500 and some odd feet long. So we feel like that we have justification because we don't have room to come in, make a driveway with parking, separated. This is about the only thing that we can get to fit. So that's item number 1, the waiver on the off-street parking. And staff did ask that we, check with the neighbors to see if we could get joint shared parking. Dr. Larson has done that prior to this. He tried to do that before we came to this body, and he was only able to get 1 parking spot. And that's to the person that is just to the west of his facility, to the left of that drawing. So, be glad to answer any questions you may have on this waiver. Anything you want to add?
I mean, just for the need, my business is kind of stagnated because I need one more staff person. I don't have a parking spot for a staff person or the patients that they would see. So in order for me to continue to grow as a business, just to see new patients, I would have to almost close my practice to new patients without having one more employee and parking for the patients that would allow her to see them, so that we can move more patients through in the space that I have. So that's the reason why we want it. I'm not trying to, expand out the wazoo. I just need a little bit of room to park some cars so that they don't park on the street. I mean, occasionally I have people parking out there along that street anyway, because my parking lot is, if I get behind, it gets a little full. So I need that little bit of overflow and then a little bit of space for one more new employee and the patients that they would be seeing.
Tim, did y'all look at parallel parking along the street and how many cars you could get there that would meet?
We would only be able to get about probably 4 at the most. And also, that is a pretty good-sized ditch right there. So we'd have to fill in the ditch here regardless, whatever we do.
So you have a net gain of 6 parking spots, the way this is? I understand the concern. I do. I also see that there's maybe not a lot of traffic on Templeton at the moment, but that does cul-de-sac back there too, vacant property in the back that could be developed at some point. So,
Someday.
yeah.
But I can't, even if the property back there developed, I don't see 6 parking spots being a detriment to the flow of traffic. If somebody does buy the property behind there, they're going to have to do some serious improvements to Templeton to be able to use it. Now, that property that is back there, it actually wraps around Dr. Larson's office and has a lot of frontage on Plaza. So I would imagine that they would probably do their ingress and egress off of Plaza, and Templeton would be probably a secondary entrance, because it's all you're looking at there is the back of those buildings and the dumpsters and all that to go with it.
Currently, I have 6 employees and myself. We could make those 6 spaces the employee parking spaces, so they'll not come and go, except most of my employees don't leave for lunch. They eat at the office. And so at most, they would leave at noon and come back and leave at the end of the day. We could make that where that's not patient parking at all. So it would only be used at 7:45 when they drive in. And if somebody left for lunch, like I say, I might have 1 or 2 leave occasionally. And then they would come back after lunch, and then after 5 o'clock, that'd be the only times those spots would be moved in and out of, because I'll make that employee parking if that makes it better.
That was going to be my suggestion. So you got less ingress.
We were both
and egress.
thinking that you must have shot it to me, because I just now thought of that while we was talking.
That didn't even occur to me, but it's a great idea.
Less ingress, egress in and out,
Right.
where they've got to back in and out.
And I could train them to back out and go forward. I mean, if you're not having to teach the whole world to do that, I can tell my employees, don't back out into the street, back out behind the other cars and go out forward.
Or back-end parking would
That work
be
too.
another good idea, so you're not backing out into moving traffic.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I'll do it however, I'll make them do whatever. I mean, that's the easiest thing we've come up with so far.
okay, that's one item. Tim, what other items do we have that?
The other item is pretty much just to piggyback on that. If you consider this a driveway, then our driveway is approximately, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, be 36, around 56 feet, and you only allow up to 40. But there's no way we can do a 40-foot driveway there. We'd lose 2 parking spots if we did. So this kind of piggybacks with that one. We had to ask for the secondary waiver because of the width of the parking spots. And then the last item is the detention. We're adding a strip of material in there that's approximately 25 to 30 feet by about 50 feet. So we're adding about 1,500 square foot of hard surface. There's really not any place to do detention. I mean, there's just not.
What is your water flow? Where's the water coming from and going on this site?
Everything flows out to the ditch on Templeton, and then it turns and it goes north to the, well, actually, I think it kind of breaks. Part of it actually comes down here to Plaza, and then some of it you go further up the road, goes north towards the big ditch. But I believe all this right here actually falls down to Plaza.
So how would this site drain, Tim? How would this new development, parking and area, how would that drain?
Well, it would, that's a good question. It would drain downhill. I would think that probably what we would do is the ditch is going to stay open. We're planning on curbing that part of Templeton between the existing driveway and the proposed new driveway, and that's going to be somewhat of a little landscape area as well. So I would think that what we would probably do is peak it out in the middle. The north 3 parking spots would probably come down and go around that end of that curb into the ditch, and then the south 3 parking spots would come down and go into the ditch as it passes past the existing driveway. You know, there's another possibility, since we were talking about putting in a junction box. We might could put a junction box in such a way that it would catch part of that water that's coming to the south. I'll just have to look at that and see if we can make that happen. If we're going to be putting a junction box in due to the pipe change, the culvert change, like Laura was talking about.
Commissioners, any other questions on that item? We're on to the next.
And the last one we've already talked about, that was changing out the culvert that we had from CMP to RCP or HDPE, which that's not a problem. Be glad to do that.
Okay, so just to kind of summarize where we're at, we have 3 outstanding items we're asking for waivers on.
Yes.
One would be the ability to back or have parking that pulls out into the street. One would be the width of the driveway, greater than 40 feet, looking like it's around 56 feet.
Sure.
And the third would be a waiver of detention requirements for the addition. Ben, do those need separate votes or is all under one?
I'm sorry, I missed that.
There are 3 separate waivers for this plat, so.
No, you could do one motion. It depends how you phrase your motion. You can do them separately. If you phrase your motion as all of the waivers presented to us to approve those, then that would be acceptable.
Okay. Commissioners, any further discussion, questions on this item as we got the applicant in front of us?
So we can approve this with waiving all 3 items, correct?
That's our, I assume the waivers could be addressed individually also if so wanted. Okay. Tim, are there any options for detention or anything to do, parking lot detention or anything like that that could kind of hold the water and that could meet that requirement?
I really don't believe so, and the reason being is because where the building is elevation-wise and where Templeton is, there's about a 2-foot fall, and it's not that big a distance in there. If we could put some kind of V in there to trap that water in some capacity, it would probably make the grades too steep and people might bottom their vehicles out. There's just not much we can do. If he had some grass area around that we could do, that would be great, but unfortunately, there's just not anything left.
Applicant, got any more comments for the commission?
Probably not anything that would be appropriate. It'd just be begging at this point.
Commissioners, any more comments on it? We have 3 waivers along with addressing the item, site plan in itself.
I'll give it a try. So, motion to approve the 3 waivers before us to allow additional employee parking with a very wide driveway and no detention pond.
Second.
We have a very well stated motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Prater,
Yes.
O'Gwen,
Yes.
Kanak,
Yes.
Byrd.
Yes.
So
Thank you
that
very
item
much.
Is
Thank
approved,
you.
4-0. Now, we'll move us to the next item on our agenda would be community input. If there's anyone here from the community who would like to address the commission, now is the time.
I do have one question.
Your time has passed.
I just want to make sure I got it, we're clear on this. On the venture drilling, we are going to be allowed to put the sidewalk at the angle that we had talked about, correct?
That was a contingency item to handle with staff, either as extra right-of-way or an easement.
Okay,
That's
we
what
can
I
do
heard
that.
How I heard
Okay.
that.
Thank you.
Any more community input? If not, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion second. All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned.